OnePlus has just confirmed the official announcement date for the OnePlus 8 series, and with around 2 weeks to go to that date, we pretty much already know everything there is to know. What's up guys, Saf here on Super Saf TV, and in this video we're going to break down all the leaks and rumors Super Saf style. So firstly, it does look like we're going to have at least two OnePlus devices, the OnePlus 8 as well as the OnePlus 8 Pro. There's also some rumors that there may be a OnePlus 8 Lite, but we don't know too much about that device as yet. But we do know quite a bit about the 8 and the 8 Pro. And initially, if we look at the front of the devices, from all the leaks and rumors that we see, they do look pretty much exactly the same as the Oppo Find X2 series. So we've got curved displays, minimal bezels, with a punch out towards the left hand side. Now this is kind of expected because Oppo is a sister company for OnePlus, and we've seen this many times before where Oppo announces something new and then those features eventually do trickle down to the OnePlus series. And this is not necessarily a bad thing because the Find X2 Pro currently has one of the best displays in the market. So the OnePlus 8 Pro is going to have a 6.78-inch display. This is what OnePlus are going to be calling a super fluid AMOLED display, and that is because it's going to have a 120 Hz refresh rate with a Quad HD Plus resolution. Now, having used the Find X2 Pro for the better part of last month, I can tell you that this is a really nice display. It's very smooth. It's very sharp, the colors are great, the brightness is also on point. So I'm personally not disappointed that this is making its way to the OnePlus 8 Pro. Now the OnePlus 8, although it's going to look very similar from the front, it's going to be a 6.55-inch fluid AMOLED display. It's going to have a full HD Plus resolution with a 90 Hz refresh rate. So still a high refresh rate, but not quite on the level of the OnePlus 8 Pro. And both devices are also going to have an in-display optical fingerprint scanner like we've seen from OnePlus before. Now, some of you guys may be disappointed that we have a punch-out now and not a pop-up camera, giving the full screen experience that we saw on the OnePlus 7 Pro as well as the OnePlus 7T Pro. But it looks like OnePlus may be doing this because the OnePlus 8 Pro at least is going to have an official IP68 water and dust resistant rating. Now, having mechanical moving parts does make getting an official IP rating difficult. So this may be one of the reasons why they've done this. I'm not too sure. What do you guys think about the punch out? Is it something that you don't mind, or would you have preferred a pop out? Definitely let me know in the comments below. Now, although the OnePlus 8 Pro is going to have that official IP rating, the OnePlus 8 is not going to have that official IP rating. So it's still probably going to be pretty water and dust resistant, except it's just not going to have that rating to keep that price lower. Now this takes us on to the build and design. So both devices do have curved glass from the front and curved glass from the back as well, with a metal frame. And from the back, realistically speaking, these do look quite similar to what we had on the OnePlus 7 Pro last year. So we do have a center camera module on both devices, and we're also going to be getting a few new colors. So on the OnePlus 8 Pro, there's going to be a black, a blue, as well as a green. With the OnePlus 8, there's going to be a black also, a green, as well as a glow color, which is a bit of a multicolor, similar to what we've seen on the Note 10. But this is going to have more of a matte finish compared to that glossy finish on the Note 10. Now let's talk a little bit about the cameras. So the OnePlus 8 Pro is going to have a quad camera setup, whereas the OnePlus 8 is going to have a triple camera setup. Now let's initially talk about the OnePlus 8 Pro, because this is where the cameras have taken a bit of a leap forward. And some of the cameras are once again quite similar to the Find X2 Pro. So the primary camera is a 48 megapixel camera. It's Sony's new IMX689 sensor with an f1.8 aperture. It's quite a large sensor size. And this time around, the ultra-wide camera is also 48 megapixels. It's got an f2.2 aperture, and it's using Sony's IMX586 sensor. What's interesting is that this is the sensor that was used in the primary camera of the last year's OnePlus devices. So this is now being used for the ultra-wide camera. So definitely a welcome improvement here. Now with both of these cameras, although they are 48 megapixels, you are going to be using pixel binning, and you will be shooting at around 12 megapixels on a general basis. And for the third camera on the 8 Pro, it is going to be a telephoto camera with 8 megapixels, and this is going to give 3 times optical zoom and up to 30 times digital zoom. So it's not going to be on the level of the periscope zoom that we've got on the Find X2 Pro. And finally, the fourth camera is quite interesting because this is a 5 megapixel color filter camera. Now, what it's exactly going to do, I'm not too sure at this point in time, but we have heard rumored that there are going to be some new features such as a new night portrait mode, 3 HDR video, as well as cinematic effects. So I'm assuming this new camera is going to help towards some of these new features. Now for the OnePlus 8, you're not going to be getting cameras quite at the level of the OnePlus 8 Pro. So you're going to have a primary 48 megapixel camera. There's also a 16 megapixel ultra wide camera, as well as a 2 megapixel depth sensor. Both devices are going to have a 16 megapixel front facing camera. And speaking of the performance, the internals, you'll be pleased to know that both of these are going to be powered by the Qualcomm Snapdragon 865 chipset, along with the X55 modem to enable 5G. And for storage, both devices are going to be available in either 128 or 256 gigabyte options with UFS 3.0 storage. So this is going to be super fast. Now for the RAM, they're both going to be available in either 8 or 12 gigabytes of RAM, but the OnePlus 8 Pro is going to have faster LPDDR5 RAM. For the software, as expected, Android 10 with Oxygen OS on top. OnePlus devices, in my experience, some of the fastest devices out there, so I've got no doubt that this is also going to carry on here on the new OnePlus devices. For the speakers, both are going to have stereo speakers, so there's going to be one bottom firing as well as one in the earpiece. And for the batteries, the OnePlus 8 Pro is going to come in with a larger 4,510 mAh battery versus the 4,300 mAh battery on the OnePlus 8. Both devices are going to support OnePlus's 30-watt warp charge, so this is very, very fast charging. It's not quite on the level from Oppo with their 65-watt SuperVOOC 2.0. But what's interesting is that the OnePlus 8 Pro, finally, for the first time on a OnePlus device, is going to have wireless charging. And what's even more exciting is that this is going to be 30-watt wireless charging. So it's going to be very, very fast. Now, OnePlus have traditionally said that the reason they've not gone with wireless charging is because it's just not going to be on the same speed as wired charging, but it looks like they've managed to figure this out with wireless charging technology getting better and better. And this is very exciting. It's something that I definitely do miss whenever I'm using a OnePlus device. There's also going to be wireless power share, so being able to reverse wireless charge using the OnePlus 8 Pro, although this is going to be pretty slow at just 3 watts. This also indicates to me that OnePlus are likely to be introducing some wireless earbuds that you can wirelessly charge on the OnePlus 8 Pro. Again, this is just me guessing, but it seems to be quite likely. The OnePlus 8, however, is not going to be getting wireless charging, unfortunately. Now, what about pricing and availability? So with these new features and the official IP rating and things like that, the price is of course going to be higher compared to what we had last year. There's no real definitive pricing out as yet, but I'd expect the OnePlus 8 Pro to come in at around 800 to 850 pounds maybe. This would put it more in line with some of the flagships that it's competing with. And the OnePlus 8, I would predict will be coming in at around 650 pounds. That's my guess based on the features that it's come in with and comparing it to last year's models. In terms of availability, they are likely to be shipped out maybe a week or two after the official announcement date, which is on the 14th of April. And of course, as soon as the announcement is made, I'm going to be doing lots of coverage here on the channel, Super Saf style. So make sure you do subscribe and hit that bell icon so you don't miss any of that content. What do you guys think of the OnePlus 8 and the OnePlus 8 Pro based on these current leaks and rumors? Definitely let me know in the comments below. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it useful. If you did, then do hit that thumbs up button for me. Thanks for watching. This is Saf on Super Saf TV, and I'll see you next time.